Hey everybody, Retro here. So yesterday the Riddler video was published, but I wasn't happy with the final product, so I'm gonna go ahead and redo it. We're starting from scratch. This is Batman's Rogue Files, entry number 1, and today we're gonna be talking about the Riddler, aka Edward Nigma. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. But first, this disclosure: all jokes in this video are gonna be just for pure entertainment purposes only. This is to help you, the reader or listener or viewer, get familiar with these characters that are talked about in this series. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and start and get talking about Riddler. Here we go. So, Riddler, aka Edward Nigma, the king of puzzlers, king of conundrums, the man of many, many riddles. First thing you gotta know about him is that he is downright obsessive. Honestly, making his first appearance back in October of 1948 and Detective Comics. He started off kind of like a goofy, little cartoonish type character. He always had a joke that he wanted to tell. Oh, I'm sorry, not a joke. I'm sorry. Stupid. No, I'm just kidding. No, he always had a riddle he always wanted to share. But that could be kind of annoying, can it? Actually, he's always had the need to be right, and honestly, I know another genius that's like that. Of course, he's in another show or in another genre altogether, if you will. But anyway, like I was saying, his first appearance was in Detective Comics 140 back in 1948, created by Bill Finger and Dick Sprang. Edward Nigma, also known as Enigma, is inspired by a man who cheated at games using puzzle books. Riddler wasn't born evil, he was born obsessive with winning. Can you imagine always needing to win? It sounds like me playing Call of Duty sometimes or playing any video game. Honestly, I want to win. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he was noticed in the Golden and Silver Age comics, but he was more of a lighthearted type criminal. I mean, he was still a criminal, but his crimes weren't as bad. I mean, he's almost a game show villain. In the Bronze Age, he became a lot darker and also exhibited some more obsessive behavior. He was diagnosed with a lot of compulsions. And in the modern age, he played a role in The Hush, Mastermind, in The Shadows, and also Zero Year. Mentally conquers Gotham. His War of the Jokers, he was also involved on that. He outplays the Joker in strategy. The key takeaways about Riddler is that he evolves from a gimmick villain to an intellectual terrorist. Yee. Anyway, so he's very narcissistic. His personality traits, he's very compulsive. He's always having the need to leave clues. He's compulsive. He needs to leave clues everywhere. Honestly, that's a lot for Batman to honestly remember. He always believes that he's inferior to anyone else. He's very arrogant. His addiction is recognition. I mean, this is pretty much proven in a lot of his stories. He's always had the need to be right. I mean, it's really kind of like, I wouldn't say sad, but it's more of like, you know, a lot of pressure put on yourself if you think about it. And whenever he doesn't win, he wants the credit. So think of somebody like who, let's say for example, you're paired up with on a science project and you do all the work, but yet your partner wants all the credit. Like that's basically Riddler. He needs Batman to play. His silence is his worst fear. So, for example, he's always wanting to basically win at everything, but he also wants to be noticed. And he was also played by Jim Carrey in Batman Forever in 1995. So that movie, I actually do. So I was born in the late 90s, so I grew up with this Batman Forever. And honestly, Jim Carrey's takeaway, his acting was probably the biggest takeaway in that movie. I mean, he was widely energetic. He had an over the top ego. He was extremely memorable, and the weaknesses is that he had no depth. I mean, I remember watching Batman Forever when I was a kid, and honestly, like I was like, dude, this guy looks so freaking funny. Especially whenever he does this impression of like whenever he has Nicole Kidman and uh, basically tied up, and he's like, Batman, Batman, you say, coming for you. And then he goes into like this like serious thing. He's like, counting on it. So yeah, that's a little bit of his, his little wild energy that he's always had. And then here comes the Batman 20 2022. So this actor, Paul Dino, he was inspired by the Zodiac Killer. So yes, that was inspired by a real person. I actually really enjoyed the Batman 2022. Any fans out there, let me know. I really enjoyed it. It felt like a true detective story, when it came to watching this movie. Like, Batman is honestly like, he is the world's greatest detective. His skills are really unmatched compared to anybody else in the DC universe. So whenever I was watching that movie, I really enjoyed it. Mainly because I think Paul Dano really brought a certain thing to the character. I mean, he honestly got away with a lot of different things. He off the mayor, he off the police commissioner, he off the DA, and just he really played it really well. Honestly, one of the things about that movie, it was very dark, and I really kind of enjoyed that. To be honest, like, oh, and just fun fact, that movie is honestly the most we get of Batman, like him, Bruce Wayne actually being Batman. So that's actually pretty cool. So I believe it was, can't remember specifically. I think it was, I think 96 minutes, or no, I'm sorry. Like, well, you know what? Retraction. I can't remember specifically, but I know it's the most we get to see Batman in the bat suit. Um, so anyway, he was inspired by the Zodiac Killer, and his honestly, his jokes were simple, but like they really like kind of, you know, they really played well into the story. Like, for example, there's that one scene where Gordon reads it and he's like, "Hey, let's play a game, just me and you." Like, I really enjoyed that. The Riddler doesn't really have any weapons unless you count his staff, which holds a lot of different things regarding like a secret sword, a taser, and along with a few other things. Whenever it comes to the TV shows, for example, in the Batman animated series, he's very polished, he's smug, he's brilliant, perfectly balanced of humor, but he's also a threat. Gotham. So I have watched Gotham. I that one. I like that he's a forensic guy that works for the PD, but also like it's more of like, I mean, he's not my favorite one, but I mean, I'll give him credit. I guess. I mean, he's definitely not the most popular. I guess. I don't know. For all you fans out there who've seen Gotham, let me know what you guys think about that one. I guess if you want to leave that. Um, Although this is a fun fact regarding Gotham. Um, it is one of the most accurate portrayals, you know, at least that's what I'm getting from my good old fashioned notes here from my research. He also does play. He is in the Arkham series, so those of you that played the Arkham series know what I'm talking about, man. I've actually really enjoyed those missions. In fact, actually, I need to complete. I've only been able to complete one of them, to be honest. I mean, I like playing the Arkham series. They're a lot of fun and everything. But man, I remember running into this one problem whenever it came to taking on Riddler's mission. Like, I just kept getting stuck, man. Although I do like how in Arkham Knight you have to actually you have to basically drive the Batmobile, and it's like a racetrack. I do like that aspect. And really what makes him dangerous is that, he attacks the mind and not the body. He controls all the information. I mean, that is one thing about Riddler that has always been kind of cool to me, is that he's like a sponge, and in that sponge he has every single ounce of information you can possibly want. I mean, from credit card numbers to phone numbers. I mean, he's just basically a sponge that, you know, basically like, absorbs every little thing you can get, you know? and he turns Gotham into a puzzle box essentially, and he forces Batman into morale dilemmas. Like if Riddler didn't need validation, Batman might actually lose. I mean, that's the thing about whenever Riddler comes into contact or whenever he's facing off with Batman, he sees Batman as like most his most interesting puzzle, but also a puzzle he's yet solve. I mean, I don't think in any of the variations like he's ever been able to beat Batman. I mean, he has gotten away with things. I mean, if you watch the 2022 movie, but to be honest, he's never beaten Batman. And to be honest, like I said, he sees Batman as the ultimate validation. Like if he can best Batman, he will go down in history. He can ride off into the sunset and being like, haha, I finally freaking beat this guy and I've tried so many years and so on and so forth. And really like he's one of Batman's oldest villains. He's constantly reinvented, but honestly it's not a bad thing. He reflects on society. He really sees everybody as like, you're wrong, I'm right, there's nothing you can do about it. I sound like Danny DeVito from Matilda. But anyway, his flaws are timeless. Really, like the main thing about Riddler is that you have to remember is that he's extremely obsessive, but also like he really wants to just be right. You know, he always has the consistent need to be right, but also like if he's foiled by the Cape Crusader or Robin, he will drive himself nuts, man. He'll be like, "How did he do it? I need to know. I can't survive if I don't know." Anyway, but yeah, I mean that's really it about Riddler. Like I said, I mean he's more of like a man of mystery. He is the prince of puzzles. He is the king of conundrums. Whether it's his mind-boggling riddles or his physically, his physical puzzles that he, creates Batman and wants the Cape Crusader to overcome. I mean, he is super clever. He's probably the most cleverest and most crafty out of all of Batman's rogues. But nevertheless, man, he is a dangerous villain. He knows information that probably you don't even know about. Imagine that. That's scary. But anyway, man, Riddler to me is one of my favorite characters. I've always enjoyed seeing him, whether it's on the screen or reading him and reading about him in the comics. Mainly because like I said, he challenges Batman not physically but mentally. He's very good at that. He's very good at getting people to think the way that he does, which honestly is actually pretty cool. I don't really find an issue with that, but if you find yourself crossing Riddler, you better be good at puzzles and riddles. And honestly, I can tell you right now that I wouldn't be because I really suck at this stuff. um, but also because like he's not motivated by chaos like Joker, and he's not motivated by money by like let's say the Penguin, or he's not motivated by a coin like Two-Face, but he's motivated simply by the need to be recognized, which honestly that's both good and bad, but in this case it's extremely bad for old Eddie. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this entry for the Batman Rogue Files. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd really love to hear your opinion on Riddler, but also like if you're a fan of Batman, or even if you're not, like this video anyway, because don't let the Rogues Gallery win. Anyway, this has been Retro. I'm so thankful for your support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also don't forget to keep nerding out, geeking out, and not being sorry for it. Thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you are. Have a great day or night, and I'll catch you in the next one.